Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We begin this video. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic in behavior. How to think faster and speak more intelligently. Pay close attention to this idea. I'm sure you've noticed that some people can come up with the best answers in just a few seconds. Everyone is impressed. But some people, even after a discussion has completely ended, still cannot think of the right answer to a question. If you could learn just a few simple techniques that help you think faster and speak more intelligently, do you realize how much your life, your social relationships, and even at times your income could change? It is very important that we know how to develop these skills. My dear friends, high intelligence is not simply about having a lot of information. Never forget this. Rather, it depends on your ability to think correctly in the moment and express yourself correctly. And that requires practice. Studies in cognitive science and research show that people who think quickly are not necessarily more intelligent than others. They are simply people who manage their brains more effectively. And that requires practice, along with following a few techniques that I will explain to you in this video. So, watch this video all the way through. Save it somewhere so you can return to it later. It will definitely be useful in your life. How can we think faster and speak more intelligently? Let's quickly move on to the techniques. First, practice pausing for 2 seconds before responding. Intelligent people do not rush to answer immediately. First, they process the question and then they respond. This is very important. Second, listen carefully. I'll repeat that. Listen carefully. Don't simply wait for the other person to stop talking so you can speak. This is the problem most people have. While someone is talking to them, instead of listening, they are already preparing their response. Instead, your first focus should be on understanding what the other person is saying. People who think at the right time, think correctly and quickly, and speak intelligently are people who understand well. And understanding is the result of listening well. Third, don't keep your mind cluttered. The more our brains are occupied with scattered thoughts and unrelated issues, Ms. Bakayan, the slower our ability to analyze becomes. When we talk about concentration, we are talking about the power of thinking, and a cluttered mind cannot achieve that level of mental power. Fourth, expand your vocabulary. The more words you know, the faster you can express what you mean. Sometimes, when we want to express ourselves, we rely on only 3 or 4 repetitive words and expressions. Try to learn new vocabulary. As I've mentioned in many of my previous programs, this is extremely important. At the end of this video, another video will be recommended to you. Be sure to watch it. In that video, I'll introduce you to an excellent resource that can significantly help expand your vocabulary. Fifth, ask better questions. My dear friends, intelligent people are not necessarily those who have the best answers. They are the ones who ask better questions. For example, instead of asking, "Why did this happen?" they ask, "What can I do to prevent this from happening again?" That is the key question. Not why did it happen, but what can I do so it doesn't happen again? Sixth, speak simply. Some people think that if they speak in a complicated way, using difficult scientific terms that no one understands just to show off, everyone will say, "Wow, what a brilliant scholar." No, speaking in a complicated manner is not a sign of intelligence. In fact, the real skill is speaking clearly. Intelligent people are able to explain complex subjects in very simple terms. Seventh, before speaking, clearly identify the 3 main points in your mind. First, what is the topic of your conversation? Second, why do you want to talk about it? Third, what result are you hoping to achieve? In other words, the topic, the reason, and the outcome. Always train your mind to organize your speech around these three elements. Eighth, increase your general knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. And this comes only through reading and studying, nothing else. Daily study helps our brains connect different subjects more quickly. Ninth, use summarization techniques. Whenever you read something, try to summarize it for yourself in just one sentence. This exercise strengthens both your analytical ability and your speaking skills. For example, stand in front of a mirror and say your summary aloud, or simply say it to yourself. This exercise greatly helps train your mind to think more effectively. 10th, speak more slowly. Interestingly, people who speak a little more slowly are generally perceived as being more intelligent. Do you know why? Because the brain has more time to process information. 11th, manage your emotions. When we are angry or anxious, unfortunately, a large part of our mental ability declines because the brain is already occupied. Anger and anxiety drain an enormous amount of your energy. That is why calm people usually give much more intelligent and well-considered responses. 12th, challenge your brain every single day. Pay attention to this. Every single day. There shouldn't be a single day when you don't do this. What should you do? Solve puzzles. Take the time to learn a new language. Learn a few new words. Read books. Solve problems. In other words, constantly create challenges for yourself and work on solving them. This trains your brain. As I've said before, the brain is exactly like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the faster it works. If you allow your mind to become lazy by saying, "I don't feel like it," or "forget it," you're actually training your brain to be lazy. Then don't expect a lazy brain to make quick decisions, analyze quickly, or come up with intelligent answers on the spot. That simply won't happen. These are the laws of how our brains function. Can we really expect our brains to operate against their own natural laws? 13th, apply the principle of speak less and think more. Ladies and gentlemen, not everything needs to be said immediately. Sometimes, one short sentence has a far deeper impact than talking for several minutes. Our religious traditions also teach us this. The best speech is that which is brief and meaningful. The finest words are those that are concise, well-reasoned, and firm. They should be few in number, yet rich in substance. 14th, use the 3 seconds ahead technique. Before you've even finished the sentence you're currently saying, begin designing the next sentence in your mind. The brain has this ability. It simply needs practice. Do you know what's so valuable about this exercise? Over time, it helps you speak more fluently. People who can effortlessly continue one sentence after another are using this capability of their brains. Like any other skill, it requires practice. And finally, the last technique. Always, always, and always seek understanding, not winning. When our only goal is to prove ourselves right, the quality of our thinking declines. But when our goal is to understand the truth, our minds become more open and naturally our analysis becomes deeper. I hope this video can help you. These techniques are extremely important. They simply require practice. Just listening is not enough. Write these techniques down and practice them in your daily life. You'll see that in less than 3 or 4 weeks, you'll notice a remarkable change in your speech, your speaking speed, and your ability to speak accurately, precisely, and intelligently. The effect is immediate and noticeable, provided that you practice and repeat these techniques consistently. I hope you found this video helpful. Please leave your comments and share your experiences. Did you find this video useful or not? Where are you watching this video from? The comments you leave help us tremendously. Please be sure to like the video so that more people can see it. Thank you all for your support, your kindness, your generosity, and your integrity. Stay strong. With my sincere regards, Amir Mehrdad Khosravi.